Hi crafters, welcome back and thanks for joining me today. This is Jonna with Purple Girl Crafts. Today we're going to make this fun card. Now this has my embellishment on the front. When you open it up, it has another flap that you can lift up and hides another message. And then I also added some brads just for some extra color on it. This will lay flat for shipping. It requires no dies, just your trimmer and a scoreboard. So let's get started. So the first thing we're going to need is going to be for the base of the card, and this piece is going to be 7 by 7.5. And on the 7.5 inch side, we are going to score this at 5 inches. And then we're just going to take that, fold that down as a mountain fold. I'm going to flip it over and we're just going to crease that out. So this is what you should have. It should be just right in the middle of your paper. So this is for the base of the card to start. Next, we're going to need one piece, and this is going to be cut at 10.5 by 3.5. And on the 10.5 inch side, we are going to score this. And we're going to score this at 2, 3, 5.5, and 8. So 2, 3, 5.5, and 8. And then we are just going to take these and fold these all inward and then crease out those folds. So you can turn these and score them on both sides so that the paper has more flexibility when you're opening and closing it. And if you've creased these the wrong way, it's okay because you can just redo that, just turn it over. It's not a problem. But this is the piece that you will have once we have done all of our creasing of our folds. Okay, next we need 4 pieces. These are 2.25 by 3.25 inches. And again, we'll need 4 of those. Then we need 4 pieces, and these are going to be cut at 2 inches by 3 inches. And these are going to lay on top of those other pieces. So that will be your layer for your mats. Next, we will need 1 piece, and this is going to be cut at 1 3/4 by 3.25. And then you need 1 piece for the layer at 3 inches by 1.5. And that will sit on top of there. Next, we need 1 piece, and this is 2.25 by 6 3/4. And then we need 1 piece that is 3/4 by 3.25. And then 1 piece that is 3.5 by 3. And these are for all the mats and layers on that piece that we just finished scoring. Then I have 3 circles, and I just used a die cut for these, but you could use a punch if you had, or you can just cut the circles out. And they are about 2 inches in diameter. Then we need 1 piece that is 6 3/4 by 4 3/4, and that will be for the base of the back of the card. So we don't need our scoreboard anymore, so we're going to go ahead and remove that. And then we're going to start working on the base of the card. So for this piece, I'm going to crease that out just one more time. So I'm going to just flip this over, then really crease that out. And then we're going to put this larger piece, which is 6 3/4 by 4 3/4, and we're going to glue this down to this bottom piece of the card. Then we're going to lay this down just so we have that nice border all the way around the card. I know it's harder to see on the dark blue card. And then I'm just going to use my bone folder just to press that glue out. Now for the next piece, this is the piece that is 2.25 by 6 3/4. And I just realized we should have cut 2 of these because we want 1 for each side of this panel. So we're going to need to cut 1 more piece of paper. Now this piece is 6 3/4 by 2.25. But I think I'm going to put it on the front, and then I'm going to cut a piece of the polka dot paper for the inside. Okay, so now I have my piece that I'm going to glue on the inside. And this matches the layers that we're going to do on the rest of the card, so it'll just kind of bring that color to the inside of the card just a little bit more. So I'm going to glue this piece on the inside flap, again making sure that border is nice and even all the way around, and then just kind of press that out, just make sure that glue gets spread out. And then we're going to glue the top piece on. And you could use your double-sided tape on this too if you wanted. I just like the glue because you could reposition it just in case you don't get it even. Okay, so now for the mechanism, or for the part that is going to be the moving part of the card. So the easiest way to do this is to just lay it down first, and you want to make sure it's centered. And you want to make sure that the 1-inch piece is the one that's going to be on the edge of the flap, like I'm showing you here. And the easiest way to get this centered is I'm going to grab my ruler, and we're going to mark this at 3.5, and that will be the center piece of the card. And then for this piece, we are going to mark it at 1 3/4, so that when I glue this down, I can make sure those two lines are evened up. And since I have this laid down, I'm just going to take this, I'm going to lift the flap, hold it down, and I'm just going to glue the flap down. And again, this is the side that is next to the 1-inch score marks that we made. And then just turn this over, and then just make sure it's even with the edge. And then I'm erasing my marks just so they're not showing. And now for the mats and the layers. So we're going to start with the first one. And this is the smaller of the two, or the 4 that we had. And then I'm going to take the layer on top of that, and we're going to put that on. I'm using a very thin layering just so this card doesn't get too heavy, because some of the thicker cardstock makes the card very bulky, so this is very thin paper. I know this doesn't look even on the one edge, but it is even on the card. It's just that blue line is kind of blending in with the color of the card. Now for this next section, so you want this to be a mountain fold. And again, I'm just going to crease that out. And then the next fold will actually be a valley fold. But if you just take this and just kind of squeeze it in there so it lays down. Okay, I felt like I had glue there. So I'm just going to lay this down. You'll see this is going to hang over. So you just want to make sure that it lays flat. I have a pencil mark there. So the easiest way to glue this next section down is just to take the card, flip it over so that it's showing like it is. And then we're just going to glue this bigger tab down, keeping it flat, and then just close the card on itself. So you should only have 2 flaps showing when you're turning it this way. And yes, I realize it's hanging over, but there's a reason for that, so don't panic. You did do it right. Because this piece is going to fold in, and it'll be the piece that closes to do that hidden flap that we're doing. So this is what you should have. You should have your 1-inch border. Card will go down straight, and then when it closes, it'll lay like this. And again, just crease out those marks. And now we're going to go ahead and we're going to decorate the rest of these panels. So we're going to put the little blue one on here. Now you can fold this card, you can fold it flat to put these on, or you can decorate these pieces before you put it on. Either way, it doesn't matter. And then I'm going to add the layer to the top. Okay, now for the rest of the layers, I'm just going to lay the card out again, and we're going to put the 4 layers down. Oops, so we're going to do the checkerboard pattern first. And I'm just laying these out to show you where they go, and then do the pattern on top. So I'm going to fast forward this and glue all these down. So this is the base of the card once it's done with the mats and the layers. So now we're going to add our embellishments, which are the 3 circles that I had cut out. This one says knock knock. We're going to put this one on the front panel of the card. I think I'm going to go a little bit higher than that because I want to put the mouse on the very front. Oops. So we're going to put this one just a little bit higher, just so it's just at the top, lining up that blue on the very top of the card. And I'm just going to use my bone folder, and then the mouse is going to sit right here on the front. Now this is the mouse that has its eyes covered. I'm going to put him just right underneath the knock knock. Now for the inside of the card, we're going to put the who's there. We're going to put that just on the center panel. And this will be on the flap that closes, and that will open, so it'll be the one on the inside. And I'm just going to put that right in the center. And then on the inside, we're going to put the mice to see you. So I'm just going to line that up so it's as high as possible so the mouse will fit. And then the mouse that now is showing his eyes is the one that's going to be on this inside card. Now these are some mice that I had drawn. I wanted to be a cartoonist. Never got quite that far. So I thought this was a great way just to draw my images and have stuff so I can always have variety out there. And make sure you have no glue because you know I'm a messy gluer. And then I'm just going to use my bone folder just to push him down. And get rid of any excess glue. Okay, so there you have it. So, knock knock. Who's there? Mice to see you. Isn't he cute? Okay, so now just look at this card. It looks like it needs some more embellishments. So I'm going to take and I'm going to cut 1-inch pieces of paper, and then I'm going to use a brad on the 4 sides. So I'm going to put them here and then on the inside too. I just think it'll just add a little bit more. You could add flowers, or you could add some other embellishments. I tend not to over embellish my cards, and sometimes they look a little blank, but sometimes less is more. Okay, so I stopped the camera and I went ahead and cut all of these. Now I cut these in the opposite paper, so I cut them in the dotted paper, and then I'm just going to put that brad in the very center. And I know it's off camera, but I'm just actually marking the center with my punch or a poker. And then I'm going to do the same. I'm going to use that as a pattern for all of them. So here I'm just lining them up and then just poking it through the next piece just so that I have them all centered and even. And I'll do that for all 6 pieces that I cut. And as you can see, I've got 2 pieces that are the checkerboard. That will be on the inside on the polka dotted paper, and then the polka dotted paper will be on the checkered board paper, just to add a little bit of variety to the card. So then I'm just going to add these all, like I said, just to the corners, and use the brads. So that was the last one. And that is the card that we made today. So I want to thank you for joining me today. Thank you for crafting along. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. I have lots more videos coming. Until then, happy crafting and see you real soon. Bye-bye.